Hi guys, George Glinsky here from Toe the Line, joined again by Paul Hilz. How you doing, my man?
Good to see you, mate.
Been doing some pretty tough training today. I've trained with Paul for the first time. I've been training down at Winchester Amateur Boxing Club. I'm going to be honest, Paul, you're an animal. I'm in a great deal of pain, and there'll be some videos out soon of me dying on the floor. But how did I get on?
Yeah, no, you done really well, George.
Yeah?
Fully committed to the grind sort of thing, mate. No, yeah, he was good. You've got youth on your side, so I didn't expect no less. And you did put the work in, mate, so well done.
Ah, positivity. So let's talk about your training. You have a fight date, but you don't have an opponent as we speak. What have you been doing to keep yourself ticking over?
Well, to stop myself going crazy, George, I've pretty much been taking fight camp on as if I was taking the April fight. I'm going to be planning a few real hard spars towards the April date for the show as such. Like I was in camp getting ready, then I will come off. But obviously I won't have the injury that you normally pick up through the actual fight night, if you get what I mean. Yeah. And then go straight back on for the May camp. It's something I have to do, George, to keep myself sort of in the right mindset and keep myself physically firing sort of thing on all cylinders. Yeah, and it's something I believe. I love the grind of it, obviously. There's people fighting. I'm getting Joey Vaughn ready for his fight, so we've been sparring. Obviously his fitness is coming up for fight night, which means I have to bring my fitness up to stick with him. Like I say, I'm treating it like a camp to go through the motions, so I'll peak at the April time. Yeah, it's just something I do to keep with my dedication, George, to keep my weight down. I think I weighed myself the other day. I was like 81.3, so my weight's fine, you know. Obviously, I normally fight 80 kg. I've come in light for the last few fights, so yeah, mate, I'm all right. Yeah.
I wanted to speak about weight because you usually come in 78, 79, which is slightly below. Is there any particular reason why you don't go to the 80? Just feel better there?
No, I mean, I get to the 80 probably about 10 days or fortnight out. And then I sort of sit like maintaining my food and my nutrition sort of thing, knowing that I'm at my weight. And then as the fight gets closer, a couple of days before, I think it's naturally, I do it from being in the pros, is you just sort of, you tighten things up a bit more. And then on weighing day, which is our fight day obviously, you're setting a zone, your body's burning up things from the start of the day. I've got the way that I do my hydration on weighing days, and I think that might be a factor to why I do come in so tight, you know, on the weight or if not under the weight. But everything's good, mate. By the time it comes fight night, I'm fully hydrated, fully fueled, fully nutritious and just ready to rumble, mate, yeah.
You obviously don't cut weight the sort of sauna-based, you know, water loading side. You believe in the weight cutting of, you know, dieting down. What would you say to those who weight cut with water weight cutting? What would you say?
I think your youth can get you away with a lot of your weight cutting and you know, especially water cutting as such, using it. I mean, it is a very good tactic and it does work. I just don't believe that the older you get, you're asking more from your body. You're drawing bits out of your camp, and theoretically you're peaking, you know, you peak to a date to get ready for your fight, and then if you've got your water cut and your weight cut to worry about, you're taking some form of your like your fullness of your you know, of your camp that you're taking into the fight night. You've got to draw something back to cut that last little bit of weight.
And another thing that people don't speak about much is the water around your brain, and that is very bad correlation. Let's talk about brain damage. I feel like in all sports, combat sports, this is a problem that no one really discusses. No. But you know, in bare knuckle boxing especially, just to, you know, put it out on a positive note, we've got various studies, you know, saying about, you know, lessened brain damage in bare knuckle boxing. You know, a few reasons I'll list off. You know, the less ounces, obviously you don't have the 10 ounces of force in the glove, shorter rounds, you know, less rounds, and then on top of that, you're having to pick your punches a lot more. So the volume tends to be slightly lower in terms of the shots thrown, unless you're obviously fighting Paul Hilz, in which case it's not slow. But yeah, so there is a lot of that. I wanted to ask for you. This is a bit of a strange question. It's something that people don't ask. Have you experienced anything brain damage wise? Have you noticed anything, any changes since you've started boxing?
No, I mean, obviously there's the terminology of being punchy, which I think, you know, I think it does happen, George. I'd hope to think that my speech wasn't slurred or slower than what it was. I've been boxing now for 10 years, and to be honest with you, my biggest damage, apart from the jacket, I feel 5 or 6 cuts, has been taken in sparring. The days that I've had cloudy thoughts and felt concussed is after real hard sparring, which is with 16 ounces and head guards. Yeah. Obviously, I did used to fight over 8 rounds professional, so I will say that there was 2 fights that went the full distance of the 8 rounds, and the bruising and the concussion come out like 10 days, 2 weeks after, sort of thing. And I believe that may be down to the gloves. You're not taking, I don't know how to word it. You're not taking, you are taking damaging blows, but it's not visually damaging blows. But you're absorbing that concussive blow after blow. 8 times 3 is obviously nearly half hour of fighting. So it's a sort of, you're taking repetitive blows constantly with the gloves. And maybe I feel that the bruising and the concussion used to come out afterwards, because it's like if you get whiplash in a car crash, it's not that day that you saw, your body sort of tries to repair, the days coming after, and that's when it really kicks in,
And that, as I say, is one of the many benefits of bare knuckle boxing. I feel it's important to discuss that, because there is a misconception surrounding bare knuckle boxing. When I tell my friends, they go, "Oh, is that legal?" Straight away. Even in fact, that's what you said.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, when I first turned over to the bare knuckle fight, and the first time we spoke about it, someone told me it was at the O2, and my attitude was, "I can't believe it," sort of thing. And is it even legal? That's what I said. Or no, I think my words were, "Has it sanctioned?" Or who governs it? Do you know what I mean? Because in my eyes, I thought it was illegal.
Yeah, it's mad. And sparring-wise, I wanted to talk a bit about that. You were down with, it was the Sun newspaper, wasn't it, down in Ely? That's right. The Sun, it was, definitely, yeah. How did that go? Obviously, you were with, I think it was Chris Rice, Tyler Goodjohn, and Jimmy Sweeney. I don't think you jumped in with Chris Rice, but the other two. How was that for you? What experience?
Yeah, it was an experience, George. Obviously, I mean, they're looked at as the sort of, Jimmy Sweeney is, he is exactly what he is, the king of BKB. Tyler's now crowned himself as the prince, and give him his dues. I think he's earned that title. He's come in, and he's one of the reasons why BKB got hold of me so much, is because I watched the Tyler and Navarra fight, and just thought it was a spectacular show of skill and bare knuckle fighting, and that's what really sort of impressed me and got me hooked on the BKB. And then I watched Jimmy, obviously, because I didn't know much about the stars of BKB, if that's the word. And I watched Jimmy's fights going back however long, and just was amazed at his skill set, how he used to fight at his unnatural weight and still be so effective, is the right word. Then I watched a thing we spoke about the other day there, actually, that he fought 2 men on one night. Yeah. And fighting one man bare knuckle on one night is quite, takes bollocks, let alone fighting 2 men on one night at the same show.
As well.
Was it really? It was, Oh, there you go. So I didn't even know that. So yeah, I mean, to get down there and even just be rubbing shoulders with them was great. With the sparring, listen, it was nothing heavy, like Jimmy, and it was total respect. Yeah. Me like a stupid div, got all my head guard on, got all my stuff out, thinking like my spar, go war in spar, Georgia go war when I fucking, when I fight. So obviously I'm thinking that Jimmy and Tyler are going to be punching me head in for consecutive rounds, and then I've got my gear on, and Jimmy was like, "No, listen, Paul, like it's not like that sort of thing, And I give him his dues. It was very respectful. We did get a work off. We weren't touching each other up. We was putting shots in, but it wasn't of the thing of. Tyler and Jimmy were in each other's company when we were sparring, so I don't know whether it would matter to them, but if it was me and my opponent was there, I wouldn't do fuck all, George. I wouldn't go in there and show what I've got or show how fit I am or nothing. So I believe that Tyler and Jimmy weren't exactly, they're not going hell for leather, but we did have a good move around, and it was good. It was a great experience for me. Just things like Tyler's head movement for starters is not just have you got to get.
Well, it's definitely still working. It's just
right, sweet, bro.
I do apologise, guys.
Tyler's head movement is not. It's not make believe. He can move his head as much as what the sort of clips of his show. He's brilliant. He's an elusive fighter, and he throws lovely shots, and he's in the pocket. He stays in the pocket, which I think is great for bare knuckle. And then Jimmy's the other side of the thing. He's got a mad style, and then he gets you with like longer, further away shots, but at different angles. So it's harder to judge, and they land, I wouldn't say quicker, but they land at a rate of where you're not expecting them. Yeah, it was great. Listen, it was great, mate. I just get stuck in, George, sort of, you know, fucking head down, arse up, here we go, sort of thing. But yeah, it was great. It was a great experience, and I thanks Jimmy and I thank Tyler for the experience and the day of it, and it was great to be in there with obviously they're both world champions in their own right. So for me, mate, shit rolls downhill. I'm at the bottom of the hill. You know what I mean? So to get, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know, I'm very new to the game, and to be sort of just having a little move around, bloody hell, even if it's a training session, I'd be buzzing. You know. Well, saying that, I credit Tyler as well, because when we was done, I carried on the bag. Because obviously we'd started sparring, and I wanted to carry on working out, and then Tyler said that I could use the El Tornado boot camp for like a CrossFit circuit. So Tyler set it up, and he done it with me. It was just unbelievable, George, to be honest with you. Thinking about it like that, you know, to have the sparring with them, and then going and do like a strength conditioning session with Tyler. Yeah, it's great. They're people I look up to, and I respect, and I appreciate what they've done in the game. And yeah, it was a humbling thing, you know, to be training with champions when I'm like 4 fights into my BKB. And it's nice to when they talk about me like I don't know, in pro boxing, when people refer to you, you're just like you're another prospect. Well, I don't even know, prospect, fucking hell, I don't even know if that's a bit of strong words for me. But you're just another pro doing the thing or whatever. And it seems to be like, in the BKB, we've got so much massive respect for each other because it's such a cutthroat sport. And it was a nice feeling to sort of be welcomed in, you know, and get the rounds off. And like I felt respect for my work and my dedication that I put in. And, you know, Tyler dug in with the circuit afterwards with me, which was great work, and it was good to train alongside him, you know what I mean? It was brilliant. It was a brilliant day, George, you know.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a shame I couldn't be there, actually. I was chomping at the bit. I was chomping at the bit, but yeah, I couldn't, unfortunately, due to travelling arrangements. It's a very sad day. But let's talk about your next opponent. Obviously, we don't know who it is yet.
No,
I think you have a good idea. Whether or not you want to talk about that, or
listen, the way I look at it is, there's not. I've been told by the powers above that it's going to be someone that he's got a theoretically sort of like a winning and losing record sort of thing. So it's obviously going to be someone with good experience in BKB. I've got a feeling that tests are going to come now. Obviously, I was talking title shot, which, don't get me wrong, I do feel that there is some entitlement to that, because obviously I've knocked out my opponents. Like, we'll put it this way, my winning record is 100% knockout rate. Obviously you could say that if you've lost 30 fights and you've only won 1 and knocked him out, then it's not a good thing. But I've won 3, lost 1, and it's been first round stoppages. So I do feel like I'm hungry for it, and I've never turned a fight down. Jim and Joe, whatever they've offered me, whether it be off of my back, you know, taking a fight on, or being asked to fight because, you know, the positions come up, I've said yes to everything, and I've took on any opponent. I've never once said, oh, I want this person, I want this sort of fighter. It's been put in front of me, and I've fought them and beat them, apart from Jack, obviously. So yeah, I do feel I was entitled to it. On the flip side of it, there's plenty of people out there more active than me, or have been more active than me, not necessarily this minute, doing the last 4 shows in a row. Yeah, obviously, you know, like I say, I think the entitlement was there. We've been promised that this is, do you think it's safe to say, like an eliminator type thing, George?
Yeah, I would say it's probably it's either an eliminator or a title shot. We're not sure exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not just going to be another fight. No. Yeah, so I've got 2 people in where that I think the sort of gods are going to put in front of me, and I've got no fear of fighting either of them. Yeah. And that's not me being a cocky prick. That's just me knowing what I've got inside me. Yeah, and obviously I'm going to look at myself, I'm going to come out the winner. Again, I try not to be cocky, but that's how it is. I'm fighting to win, and I am fighting to upset shit. I mean, people, I don't think you know, people, I don't know, people might respect my work rate and things like that, George, but I ain't in it for claps on the back to tell me well done. I'm in it to achieve what I want to get out of it, and I won't be stopping at it, you know, until I get what I want. So I do believe that, yeah, I want these tough fights, and I want the opponents that think that theoretically they're maybe a little bit better than me, skill set, or a little bit fitter than me, or just a little bit better, and I want to be that fella to upset it and fuck shit up. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, no, I do.
Put it very well there. The final question I wanted to ask, Joey Vaughn. Obviously, you've done a few sessions with him. He's fighting on the next card against Gavin Kura. I think that's how you say it. It's Gavin against Gavin C. How's he been looking? He's obviously been down here a few times.
No, brilliant. Yeah, Joey's he's very dedicated. Obviously, Mel's his trainer. Joe's been using me for strength and conditioning sessions and for sparring. Obviously, I'm not going to give too much away from him. I do think that Joe's skill set is on a different level. Not than his opponent, just in general. I think he's a very skillful fighter. The transaction to bare knuckle is that same old cliche of what's it going to be like. It's going to be bare knuckled, no gloves, blah blah blah. Fighting men are fighting men. They're going to go in there, they're going to have a fight like they would do, boxing gloves with no boxing gloves. I think Joey will find his feet in the bare knuckle. Not necessarily in this fight he's going to go in and fucking look great with, but I'm saying he will find his feet, and he's got a lovely style for it. We're working on fitness, it won't be questioned, you know what I mean? I don't think he's ever put as much fitness work in as what he's done with me, George. I didn't even know that, you know. I don't let, you know yourself, you've come through with me today and yesterday, and we won't be left asking questions, George. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. If he goes in and gets ironed out by the other fella, fair play to the other fella, he gets his hand shook. But if he goes in and starts breathing out of his arse and fucking can't handle it, then that's my fault, and that won't happen. So I believe it's going to be a positive outcome, and Joe will push forward with his journey, mate.
100%. And finally, sponsors. We've got a few on there. Who can we thank?
No, I just want to thank, obviously, we've got our people that took with our last fight. They wanted to carry the sponsorship on, so we've carried on. We have got Ripchin from Basildon, which is long-time sponsor myself, and I just obviously always want to give them credit because they've stuck by me through long and hard sort of thing. Box Fit UK, which is obviously, as far as I know, the biggest in the south and London boxing outfit going. They've got a great side of their department now that does the printing and the text sort of thing. This is why you always see my gear looking, you know, top notch. Yeah, that's it. They always make the effort. I've got to credit them. They've stuck by me as well through time. We've got All In Fitness, which is out in Mississippi, in America, would you believe? We picked that up. They helped me out with my brain scan and my eye test after the Jack Armfield fight, because I took them blows and I wanted to get everything checked, and my man Em out there really done me a favour, contacted me, and I've got to thank as well Tony the Tiger for that, because that was through Lafferty that sorted that out, and big respect to him. He's a great fighter, great man. I've got a lot of love for him. He sorted that sponsor out, which is All In Fitness. All In Fitness, I think on the Instagram, it's All In Fitness Grenade. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a CrossFit centre out in Mississippi. It's absolutely unbelievable, and the owner has stuck by me through thick and thin with ongoing sponsorship, and I've got to credit them when it's due. We have also got a CBD sponsor, which is Smoke and Bubbles 420 on Instagram. He's one of my boys, known him many years, and it's great to have his company jump on and help out with my recovery, which is doing great. It's really working. The CBD is something out there. If you're not educated by it, do your own work about it. And if you're getting in the sort of more mature years, should we word it, like myself, then CBD is a must for your. Well, if you're still bare knuckle fighting when you're nearly 40, then I think you better get some CBD in you. Not everyone will be doing that, but you know what I mean. It's great for recovery, and I big them up for sticking by me, mate. Yeah, and I think that's it, George. Yeah, we're done. Oh, also I've got for my kit sponsor, which was Alan Mortlock from the IBA boxing that I used to box with. He come up and paid for my kit and my clothes and that, my training stuff, along with Scribble Ink Tattoo down in Loughton, which is a great artist down there with great tattoo work. And yeah, I just want to thank them as well, because they jump on just for the kit sponsor, but every single bit helps with the sponsorship. And it's great, you know. BKB is a massive stage and a massive setup, run very, very professionally. People see it worldwide, and it's great to give the sponsors the opportunity on getting on a big stage with this up and coming BKB thing, because one day it will be as big as UFC. And yeah, credit to all the sponsors that sponsor all the boys, not just my sponsors, the other sponsors that sponsor all the other fighters. It makes living the dream a little bit less stressful for us. We've all got families, most of us have got families, and outgoings with Bill Wise, and the sponsorship makes things a little bit easier so we can concentrate on our training.
Paul, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, man.
Take it easy, bro.
Cheers, guys.